So, lots of pretty neat options for the Kimura Lock. Okay? I'm going to tell you what, one of the hardest ways to get the Kimura Lock is from the mount. But it's there. So we got to figure out what makes the shoulder bind and makes him want to do something to relieve that pain. All right? So the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is if you grab the wrist, what's he going to do? I'm like, I can't get to my Kimura Lock. My technique sucks. I hate my life. Right? So I'm going to go here. Do you guys see how I slid into that? So if I go here, he's not thinking I'm going for his hand. Now watch. I'm going to use my lat muscle to push this back. This is a lat action. Pin it to the ground. Does that make sense?
Sure. Can I see it one more time?
Yeah, I'll come on this side. We'll turn a little bit. So again, Caleb feels me grabbing this. He grabs for defense. What are my chances of getting this thing anywheres? I'm just going to have to fight him to death. By the way, in the street, what should we do if he resists us here?
Punch him.
I just punch him, right? I would just absolutely punch him. I could also gouge an eye. I could also go for the throat. There's a lot of anything you do self-defense-y that, yeah, we consider rude in jiu-jitsu. Be honest, it's just, we don't want to tear up our friend. But we should talk about it so that we're thinking about it in combat, right? So again, he's here. I move up, and I slide this here. Now once he realizes I've got this, he's going to grab close, however he can. Now I'm like, well, that's the defense. If his grip is pretty good, what's the chance of me really doing anything with this hand? I can't really break this grip easily, particularly if this is what I really want, right? Like, I want this hand off. Don't worry about that hand. Slide up to the bicep. I mean, not the bicep, the top of the forearm. Now watch. Do you see how I didn't bother trying to unlock his hand? I just kicked out of it. Let's say he grabs a little higher on the pant leg. I go here, and he grabs a little higher on the pant leg. Right? We go under, and I hold on to that shoulder. And now I'm not trying to get the wrist yet. I'm just trying to get here. Now, I'm in position. Okay? If I try to just lift this, he's going to roll slightly towards this shoulder, and it's not going to hurt him a whole lot. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my foot around and I'm going to lift his body up. Then I'm going to pull this to the topmost position and crank him backwards. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It'll make way more sense when I show you the guard version because it'll look the same. Pretty cool?
Sure.
All right. Step one is what? Should we say swim? I like that.
Swoosh.
She made a swim noise. It sounds like swimming. She swished me right. This arm goes here. Down. He's going to grab something. He knows he's in trouble. I'm not worrying about it. I'm going to slide up the forearm and get under the shoulder. Then I'm going to lay on it, break the grip. Right? Post. Lift. Crank. Now remember, I want to take all this slack out. Right? What I'd like to do is make a line all the way across his shoulders. If it's like this, the arm moves a whole lot. Once I get it up here, it doesn't move much. I bound him, right? And then I just crank. By the way, what if he tries to hip bump me and take the top?
Doesn't matter.
I just go ahead and break that off. Questions on that? I do want to show you from the guard, but I just want you to practice this one from the mount first, okay? Just so you can see the commonality. Same problem. Doing this. This sucks, right? This is the hand that's going to do the controlling. This is the hand that's going to do the braking. I want to ultimately do this, right? So let's establish this grip. Right? I dig under, break. Now watch. I'm going to not just use my arms, I'm going to use my knee. He's going to grab his pant leg. Right? That's the defense, right? Expect him to do the defense. Everybody see that he's grabbing his pants?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay? What did I do last time? Did I hold on here?
No.
Slid up to the forearm a bit. It makes this easier. Now, I might not be strong enough, hold on super tight, Caleb. I might not be strong enough to do this with my arms. What about my leg? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Then I pull him tight, and then I adjust it up. Now watch, if I'm still down here, it's pumping water, man. It doesn't hurt him at all. When I pull this tight, see how I do that with my hips? Everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
Pin this to my body, hips, lift, and I get the Kimura Lock. Does it make sense? Who wants to see it one more time?
I'll see.
Make sure you can see. Controlling hand, breaking hand. Break the grip, push to the back, expect the defense. Right? That's natural. He's going to do that unless he's like naked and there's nothing for him to grab on. He's grabbing something. Control him with my thighs. This calf, these thighs, keeping him from doing stuff. I'm not worried that he's holding on. I'm gonna establish my grip. Get up high on the forearm. Again, if I try to pull with my arm strength, see, I'm pulling his shoulder literally. I have to pull the shoulder out of socket for this to work. But watch what I do with my leg. My leg is going to do the work. Cool?
Yes, sir.
Pull him tight. Rotate up. It's a small move. If you're doing a bunch of this, you're going to end up breaking this bone before you dislocate the shoulder. And in Jiu-Jitsu, you don't feel the bone breaking until it's broke. Whereas when I do this, Caleb's like, I feel that. Just tap the floor instead of my leg. When he feels it, when he feels it, when he feels it, now watch. I gotta crank this in a way that I apply pressure to the bone, and I've seen people get their arm broken because it didn't hurt. Do the technique right. Instead of trying to break the humerus, just destroy the rotator cuff, right? Do it right. Go, you skin a cat. We're a little bit over time, I apologize, but this is important. If you'll stay, I'll give you a little bit more information that might be helpful. I still see people doing this. Don't get me wrong, you can practice that way. There's nothing wrong with practicing that way. It's just never gonna happen in real life, right? If I put my hands and I would go for his eyes, maybe I could do that because he's gonna be distracted, but he's never gonna let me do this. That's the first thing. What should I do instead of this?
Swoop.
Move in, pull this back, and then set it to the ground. He's probably gonna try to grab something, right? It's not the end of the world. I move up the arm slightly and I entangle, and I go ahead and break that grip by not moving his arm, but by moving the whatever he's gripped onto, right? I break that away. Now, should I try to make the shoulder lock from here?
No.
What should I do?
Post.
Post with the right leg, and I lift his body up. Now, I see a lot of people doing some other things. They're not necessarily wrong, but this particular technique works for one really good reason. I can immobilize his shoulder. Remember when I said immobilize? I immobilize the shoulder. If you're doing a whole bunch of this, you don't have him immobilized. This is immobilized. Posture. See all that space between my body? None of that's there. This is immobilized. Okay? Now, once I'm here, can you feel already it's tight? It's just a little bit of motion, and he'll tap. I don't have to try to get this, and he's wiggling, and this is moving all around. This is a flawed technique. Okay? Now, in the event that you end up with a different grip, right? He ends up on his side, and you end up over here. You've changed the technique almost completely. It's not that it's bad. But you still need to not be doing this. Look at all the space. It's this. I'm going to try to pull the arm out of the socket this way. I want the humerus to be a complete line straight with his shoulder up to his other shoulder. Now a small motion, and it works. It's a small motion. If you do it right, you attack the joint in the tendons, you make that painful. This is trying to really attack the whole arm, and he's going to resist until you probably break the humerus. It'll take a lot more effort. If you're doing it to somebody way bigger with a big bone, you might not have the strength to break the bone, but you can tear up the rotator cuff pretty easy if you do it right. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
I'm not against sitting on his head. A lot of people do it this way. This is great, but this is still wrong. It's this. My posture, my back, a lot of strength here. Small motion. Pretty cool?
Yes, sir.
Questions?
Yes, sir.
Who needs one more time to train before we quit? All right, one more time, get with your partner, make that work. I'm gonna move on.